Welcome everybody to the Latin Nerds Network. My name is Jose and this is my review for The Night House. The Night House, the newest film from Searchlight Pictures. It's a mystery horror film, so I as a horror fan, I'm very excited when one comes out, particularly if it's well made. Now, let's be clear, let's be honest. I love horror films, but most of them are crap. Let's just keep it 100 here. That being said, I'm always curious to see what a new one comes out, what they're able to do with that genre. We have this one particularly stars Rebecca Hall. Now, Rebecca Hall is not exactly a household name here, but she's been in a lot of good films. She, we've seen her in great films like The Prestige and The Town, and big films. Would it be Iron Man 3, and recently this year was in Godzilla versus Kong. And I'll say off the bat, she's great in this film. She's got to do all the heavy lifting, and she does it very well here. And this is a film, again, she plays, she's recently widowed, and she's living alone in a house that her husband built for her right by the lake in the middle of nowhere and somewhere upstate New York. So she's going through that grieving process. And, obviously, as she's staying in the house alone, she starts seeing and sensing things that are going on, things of which could be of the supernatural variety, or is everything just in her head? Because she is grieving and maybe her mind is playing tricks on her. Her mind is broken, if you will, which is understandable considering her husband passed away recently, and not just passed away, but, went on the boat in the middle of the lake and shot himself in the mouth. So she starts to dig a little deeper in terms of what's going on, and she starts discovering these things, and she kind of goes down that rabbit hole and just, searching for answers to why her husband killed himself, who he really was. She finds things that kind of question who he actually was, and she starts discovering this dark past about him. Now, that being said, I'll say as a mystery, things really work. It is one that I thought she did it. Not only was this movie well directed, because it is. I mean, it sets up the atmosphere very well. It's very well shot. There's some really cool scenes here. A lot of good scares. A couple of moments that are unsettling, which even got me every so often and all that. And that's not easy to do. I love horror movies, but I don't want to really get scared in the film that much. But that being said, this movie really sets up well, because any horror movie needs to have good atmosphere. That's the most important thing, in the tone. And this movie succeeds in that. However, buyer beware. This is not your typical horror film. This is not a run-of-the-mill one that's gonna, cater to the casual fan, and which I get, right? This is a slow burn. It builds things up through images here and there, and it kind of builds through as the mystery unravels and discovers what's going on here, and giving you some good scares, in the meantime. Now, that being said, this is the good thing, doesn't follow some of the same tropes, the jump scares that other films do. It's not your typical haunted house kind of scene here. If that's your bag, this movie is probably not for you, and I get it. But this movie does succeed in giving you some good horror elements to it. It's not a full-fledged horror film. That being said, I think it's really going to come down to the ending, whether you buy into it or not. Now, the ending is a little bit ambiguous. This movie explores things about believing in things in the afterlife or not, and nothing's really towards the end is really spoon-fed you. It doesn't give you the answer. It doesn't reveal to you the definitive ending. And some people, depending on what side of the coin you fall on, you may enjoy that, you may not. I don't mind. I take it or leave it. Just depends on the film itself. In this case, I didn't mind the ambiguity, because the journey there was done well enough to where I was like, okay, I enjoyed what I saw. Yes, I could have had a better ending. Sure. Some people may take that and just kind of throw this movie down the toilet, say, oh, the ending sucked, I'm out. I get that just 100%, just the same as the other way. So I think it's depending on what you think about the ending. Not that the ending is bad, it's just not one that's real clear cut. To me, I enjoy it. Some people don't. I understand that completely. But that being said, this is a decent horror film. It's not one I'm saying go and rush out and watch it right now. I get it. In these times, people aren't really going to the movies that much or as much, and probably be more selective when they do. So I understand that. But even still, without take away COVID and all that, it's not a movie I'd probably say go out and rush to the theaters and watch it. But definitely watch it at home, at least, particularly if you're a horror fan and don't mind the kind of slow build-up, kind of more artistic films. It's a good film with horror elements at the end of the day. It's just not a great one, ultimately. But it's guaranteed this will be out in VOD by the time Halloween comes out. So this is one I say queue up, and you might get some enjoyment out of it. Just buy beware when it comes to the ending. But if you buy into it, you probably enjoy it. If not, you probably may think this was a waste of your time, and that's you got to roll the die, right? But as I'm saying, I recommend this at home spending your money to go watch in the theaters. But that being said, I enjoyed it. I thought it was well made, some good elements, very well shot, great performance of Rebecca Hall. So, and as a horror fan, I appreciated what most of its attempts to kind of draw the horror and the atmosphere out. So if you guys watch it, let me know, comment below. And of course, if you haven't done so already, subscribe below and feed money to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. See you guys next time.